There's a whole lot of reasons why people get tattooed.
It's an expression on their personal being, where they came from, where they want to go to, partly. I mean, every tattoo is a different story.
The shark and the anchor, which are really dry, they get bright when I lotion them. Sink or swim, it's pretty self-explanatory. Makes you think about, okay, seize the day. Today's the day.
I have a portrait of my grandmother. I have a portrait of my bearded dragon. I also got a lot of biomechanical, which I absolutely love tattooing.
I like that you can express your personality visually, so like when people look at me, they kind of have an idea of things I like.
There's always meaning behind everything, pretty much. It's different for everybody though.
My back piece has a heart with a chain wrapped around it, and there's an anchor that connects at the bottom, and then there are two sparrows who are holding the chains, and that represents my friends and my family that keep me grounded.
This one here is for my son. His name's Christopher, and this one here, he's my good luck charm, so the clover. He's my heart, obviously, and because he reminds me a lot of me, the barbed wire around it.
If somebody's gonna get a tattoo with meaning, most commonly it has to do with their family or loved ones.
Down the back of my arms I have family and friends, because the two most important things to me are family and friends. Then I also have on my calf a star with a treble clef in it that my best friend, she designed, and we got together.
I just wanted a best friend. He doesn't have a choice, at least for the next 15 years. Till then, he's mine. That's my buddy. Oh, that's my buddy.
The other piece I have is on my back. It's a family crest, but it's got a lot of symbology in it for me. Like there's two flowers, a lily and a violet at the bottom of it. There's one for each of my grandmothers. Then I have two Old English letters, Q and S for both sides of my family, Quadrat and Schmidt. Then Libra scale on it for my birth month, and then just it's a small animals fighting scene, but that's just something personal for me.
This is my daughter Amanda. She's 13. This is my daughter Amber, or she's now 17. This is my son Matthew, who is now 12. He was 11 in this picture.
Unfortunately, memorials is usually the biggest one that I get. Obviously, they try to they're memorializing a past loved one. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think personally the ones that are the worst ones for me to do is when I actually know the person that I'm doing the memorial for.
The rose is for my grandmother. Her favorite color was blue, hence true blue tattoo. This is for a Marine buddy of mine that passed away. The way it's kind of soaring down through the clouds kind of represents how he lived his life. And then there's like a hooker leg hanging out of the cockpit. That fits him pretty well too.
Well, I've had to do a memorial for, I tattooed a girl on her 18th birthday, and then I have to do a lot of memorial tattoos for that girl because she died a month later.
This first tattoo, I got this in October. I got it from my mom who passed away a few years back, and this is a line from one of her favorite songs.
And a memorial for my father. He was a truck driver. He went to Duquesne University to be a history teacher, and when he was in Vietnam in the Air Force, he drove trucks filled with fuel, and just fell in love with that and got his degree and just kept driving truck instead. So, but I lost him a couple years ago, so now he's on my arm.
On one side, there are lily flowers for my best friend who passed away when I was in 4th grade. And then I have poppy flowers on the other side for my art teacher who passed away of cancer, also when I was in 4th grade. The one that the lily flowers are for, we were in 4th grade. She was hit by a motorcycle and passed away. So that was really hard for me. And then the poppy flowers for my art teacher who died of leukemia, because the first painting I ever saw that she did was of a poppy flower, and that just stuck with me.
When I first started getting tattoos was around the time that my kid's mother passed away, so I did get a tattoo in memory of her.
Originally, I wanted to get something that represented my heritage, Incas from Peru. But then while I was researching my background, I found out that I had more than just Peruvian heritage in me. I was also Chinese. So I tried to influence both into one. While I was looking to different symbols and all that, I knew sun was a major symbol in the Incan culture. And instead of just getting 2 separate symbols for both 2 completely different cultures, I decided to do the yin and yang right in the middle of the sun.
I was home one day, and every time we go home, my troop gets together, we go camping and do all the adult things that we couldn't do when we were in the troop. And one day, my best friend was like, hey, why don't we get our troop number tattooed on our arm? That way, even though we're not still doing it, we'd always be in uniform, we'd always have that reminder. So that night we went and got it.
For every marathon that I run, I get a new feather. It falls off my foot with the wings, kind of like, Mercury, the god of speed. So I'm putting on feather number 6 today. I'm gonna have 25 on this leg. Yeah. And I won't be able to fit all 50 on there. So Kat's drawn up for me a laurel wreath. I want 26.2 in the middle, and then my favorite saying, which is Fortitude Vincimus, which means by endurance we conquer. I just really wanted some way to remind myself of how far I come from that quarter of a mile on the treadmill. Sometimes when I'm running, and I'm usually between miles 22 and 24, I'll say to myself, why am I doing this? This is awful. I never want to do this again. And then I think to myself, well, if I don't cross that finish line, Kat can't put that tattoo on my leg, so I better get across that finish line. So it helps motivate me.
My tattoo is of a hill because I am Seneca. Seneca people are people of the Great Hill. So I got a hill. There's 2 swirls right on each side of it that go up. Basically, they mean a way up to heaven. On the hill, there's 3 flowers representing my favorite number 3. Under the hill, it says Ononowak Gat Ni A, which is Seneca for I am Seneca.
I have a lot of black and gray portraits of a lot of musicians that I look up to. Band, a lot of movies, a lot of horror movies.
Over here would be all of the band members from the band Hell Yeah with Chad Gray, who formerly sang for Mudvayne. Then we got Vinnie Paul, who was the drummer from Pantera. Here's Tomcat, Bob. Then we got Tribs here. Then each one of them did a memorial to Dimebag Darrell, who was obviously fatally shot and killed on stage.
I have Tequila right here. It's a Mexican superhero drinking tequila. It's my alter ego. And then I have slow motion, and then there's two turtles doing it doggy style right here. And the motion is spelled like my last name, slow motion.
Basically, when you Google motion tattoos, you get some weird things, but one of the first things I came across was a bubble chamber, which in physics, it's how physicists take really small particles, they speed them up, and then basically shoot them out into this pool, and they leave little vapor trails. So I just kind of looked around for the right particles that I wanted and found a picture and brought it in and said, draw me this.
Private Abby. Nice little pinup. This right here is an Army acronym meaning leadership, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. I'll be honest, when I go to the bathroom, this guy's looking at me, telling me to get to the gym. That's my best explanation right there.
I got lyrics by a singer named Lights. I went and saw her up in Buffalo, and I had her write out the lyrics for me. And then my fifth one was the Art Deco girl, and then I have her wearing an Alexander McQueen dress.
I have one tattoo. It's a sort of tribal fox, and it's on my side right here. It's sort of like a symbolization of a spirit animal for me, because the original idea behind it was that if I had a Patronus, like Harry Potter, it would be a fox.
Yeah, I would say that the majority of the tattoos actually do have a true meaning behind them. They're not just random things that people stick on them, you know what I mean?
My advice to someone would be to really think about it and research it.
If you're gonna get a tattoo, you have to at least think about it for a year and plan it thoroughly, make sure you still want everything before you actually get it.
That's what it's about, getting your attention, make you, be unique. Stand out from the crowd and whatnot, and
everybody has something to say, and they get it tattooed on their body. The meaning of the image can change as you change.
My tattoos are more than something that's just on my skin. It's not just skin deep, it's a lot more than that.
The tattoo doesn't make the person.